The symbol of elements. These are some of the elements from the periodic table. The total number of elements in periodic table is 118. What will happen if the names of the elements are written in full, like what you have seen on the screen? Do you have any suggestion on how to avoid from writing down the names of the elements? In the actual periodic table, the elements are written in symbols. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to write the symbol of elements, determine the number of neutrons, protons, and electrons from the proton number and the nucleon number and vice versa, and construct the atomic structure. Click on the blinking button to proceed.
Periodic table. Do you think this periodic table looks better when all the elements are written in symbols? Let us focus on the first 20 elements of the periodic table. From the 20 elements listed, some of them are represented by a symbol made up of 2 letters, while the rest are made up of 1 letter.
One-letter symbols. Some elements are represented by one-letter symbols. The letter is derived from the first letter in the name of the element. The letter is always written in capital. Examples are hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Two-letter symbols. Now, let us look at another elements which are represented by two-letter symbols. The two-letter symbols are often the first and second letters. The first letter is always written in capital letter. The examples are helium, magnesium, and aluminium. Click on the blinking button to proceed. Standard representation of an atom. This is the standard representation of an atom. X represents the chemical symbol, A represents the nucleon number, Z represents the proton number.
Standard representation of hydrogen. Let's take hydrogen as an example. The proton number and nucleon number of hydrogen is 1. The standard representation of calcium. Now let's look at another example, calcium. The proton number of calcium is 20 and the nucleon number is 40.
Click on the blinking button to proceed. What can you obtain from a standard representation of an atom?
A chemical symbol can give you a lot of information such as the name of the element, the nucleon number, the proton number,
number of electrons, number of neutrons.
Let's take a look at the standard representation of calcium. The number of proton is 20. The number of electron is 20. The number of neutron is equal to nucleon minus proton, which means 40 minus 20 equals 20. From the chemical symbol, it is known that calcium has 20 protons, 20 electrons, and 20 neutrons.
Click on the blinking button to proceed.
Writing a symbol.
3 things that you must have before writing a symbol are the chemical symbol of the element, the nucleon number, and the proton number.
You may write a symbol straight away if information given to you is direct and straightforward. But sometimes element nucleon number and proton number are not directly given. You may need to do some calculations from what is given before you can write the symbol. Click on the boxes to know more about them.
Key in your answers in the empty spaces. Click on the Submit button when you have completed. Based on the information in the table given, write down the standard representation of each element in the empty spaces. Click on the Submit button when you have completed all tasks. In this evaluation, you will be tested. Summary. All elements are represented by symbols. All elements are represented by one or two letters symbol. Is the standard representation of an atom. X represents the chemical symbols. Z represents the proton number and A represents the nucleon number. From the standard representation, we can construct the atomic structure and vice versa. Click on the blinking button to proceed. Some elements are represented with one-letter or two-letter elements. The one-letter symbol derived from the first letter of the element's name. The two-letter symbols are often the first and second letters in a name. However, several elements in the periodic table have one or two-letter symbols that do not fit their names at all. Can you find them? You can use this table to list your findings and submit to your teacher.